Hello and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel again. I'm Naomi and this is Tarot Tells, where I delve into some world events, characters in the news and sort of recent circumstances around the world with the tarot cards to see if they can shed some more light on the events or on the people. Today I'm going to look at something quite controversial. So I'm going to look at specifically the relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now I know that it's been all over the news, especially if you're from America. I'm in the UK and I've tried to avoid the news on it as much as possible because I knew I was going to do this, and sometimes it's so much easier to do tarot if you don't know too much about the background, if that makes sense, because sometimes, you know, it's difficult not to put your own slant on it. So I've tried to remain really neutral by not watching the reports and things like that on TV about what I would call the relationship dynamic between these two people. So I'm going to use a particular spread today that I use when I'm examining the relationship between two people in particular. So with that being said, please remember that this program is for entertainment purposes only, and the views that I might express are not necessarily my own. I'm simply reading the tarot cards. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to give these cards a bit more of a shuffle. And I'm specifically thinking about the relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and asking, if possible, for some insight about that. What drives that relationship? Perhaps what does each man want out of the relationship? What might be the potential consequences of the relationship working? What might happen if it goes wrong? Will it go wrong? Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's have a look. Now, the way that I'm going to do this, you'll see that I've got a picture of Donald Trump, a picture of Elon Musk. Now, I'm using these instead of cards to signify that person. So I'm not using significator cards. Okay, so for Donald Trump, we're going to have the underlying motivations. We have what's happened just before this situation. We have his aims. We have here what's going to happen just in front of the here and now, so just into the future. Moving across to Trump, we're going to have his, sorry, not Trump, Musk. Getting my Musks and Trumps mixed up. So for Elon Musk, I have the underlying motivation, what lies beneath his actions. I'm going to have what came behind, so what came before, what's going to come just in the very near future, and his overall aims. I'm also laying a card in the middle, which is their connection cards. This speaks more about their connection. And I'm going to have what underlies that connection, what the aim of that connection is, and then finally I'm going to lay the outcome card. Okay, so let's see what the cards have got to say here. It never fails to amaze me how the cards just seem to read like a storybook at times. It's so clear, this reading. Let me take you through it. Okay, so we'll start with Mr. Trump. Now remember, what we're doing is we're looking specifically at the relationship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Why it has happened, what's its point, where's it going? Okay, so rather than looking at policies and things like that, or individual things, you know, individual outcomes, we're looking specifically at the relationship dynamic between them, which I thought would be quite interesting. Okay, so we're going to start with Trump. Now, this card is the Tower reversed, and that is underlying his motivation for this romance with Elon Musk. We've got the Tower reversed. Now, this usually means that things are never going to be the same. Okay, the Tower is a shocking event, a circumstance in life that's difficult to deal with for sure, but it can be like catastrophic for the person that's experiencing it. And so I'm going to say that what has happened to Trump in the past, there's been a big humiliation, and that is really underpinning his motivation for paving the way to this relationship, this close relationship, business and personal, with Elon Musk. So it's almost like Trump needs to find a way to turn things upside down, like the reverse tower, to turn things on their heads. He needs to dig himself out of a hole. He needs to basically right the wrongs and put things on a completely different track. Because if there's one thing that the tower does, when it shows up, it shakes things up. Okay, so basically this card is saying like things are never going to be the same. So that is the Tower reversed. Right, so immediately preceding the events that I'm looking at, so immediately preceding this sort of relationship phase between Trump and Musk, for want of a better way of describing it, we've got the Five of Pentacles reversed. Now, this card in the reversed position usually means that there's been a renewed sense of faith, and the path is becoming clearer. Problems, specifically because it's pentacles, and they're to do with like wealth and money and also law and legal things. So it's almost like there have been problems which are being alleviated by this situation for Trump. So if you're looking for motives here and looking negatively, you could say that Trump is trying to manipulate this situation so that the light of those around him. So if he sees Elon Musk in a way as, somebody that's going to be appealing to the public, then it could be that he believes that that will sort of rub off on him, and we'll be more likely to forget some of the events that he sees as deeply humiliating. And I'm tempted to say, although it is quite an obvious one, I'm tempted to say this is likely to be around his defeat in the last election, which I believe he took. Of course, nobody likes to lose, but I think with Trump, looking at this spread, he hates to lose. I mean, he pathologically hates to lose. So that defeat was incredibly humiliating for him, and it's one of those things you can imagine him lying awake at night and actually plotting and scheming, how am I going to get it back, how am I going to get back on top, how am I going to sort this out. So this card, the Five of Pentacles reversed, is saying that he sees this as a way forward, as a path away from the things that have been going wrong. Okay, so if we look at the events, the aim of this friendship for Donald Trump. So the aim for Donald Trump is the Five of Swords reversed. So the Five of Swords reversed is about being cleared of wrongdoing. So again, it's quite a similar card. It's about feeling relieved of burdens and the end of conflict, but that's almost within oneself in this case. So you're looking at somebody who's been deeply affected, deeply conflicted with himself about what's happened in the past and this defeat and how things have culminated in this. Okay, so we're seeing somebody who is very motivated by his own success. Okay, he's very motivated by his own power here. Because we've got swords, we've got power, but he is also aware that he can't just cut through everything here and just, do it all his own way without having somebody who can make him more popular, so make his decisions more popular, as well as bring in, expertise and that to the table. But that card, that reverse Five of Swords, is really about being cleared of wrongdoing. So again, we're seeing that theme where in I'm sure in many people's minds, but it's very definitely in Trump's mind, he sees a real need for vindication, a burning need to put right what has been done wrong to him. So he believes that he was wronged, and he believes that this friendship is a way in which he's going to be vindicated. Okay, it will be seen that he is the way forward, that he created a better time in history for the United States and perhaps even the world. Moving on to look at what's just in front of Donald Trump. So this is like the near future. Okay, when I look at a spread, I look at around the significator here as very close in time. So recent past, recent, and almost future, if you see what I mean, because time and space are rotating around the individual here. So this is the very near future. And this is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a really nice card. I call it the giving and receiving card. Now, what this means as a future for Trump and the relationship with Musk, I see this very much as you would imagine, give and take. But I also feel that they do have a really strong humanitarian link here in the fact that, okay, I think perhaps we're looking at a situation where there will be a lot done to help sort of the general public. And there was almost like there's things being paid out, there's things being put right, there's money being taken off people that have used it badly, there's money being given to people that need it. Okay, now I'm not saying that this is all love and light, because if you look at the cards that have surrounded Trump that we've just been through, they don't come out as, you know, he's motivated by genuine, I forget the word for it, philanthropy, is that? So he's not motivated specifically by a genuine philanthropy at this point. It seems like he's aware that with that giving, there will be receiving. And it's almost like he can hook that into Musk's drive, his humanitarian drive is very sort of driven to put the planet right and to find new ways of doing things. So I think, sorry to be cynical, but it's almost like Trump is hooking into that drive of Musk's, that giving and receiving. And he sees that as very much something that can take him forward and achieve this mission of his, which seems to be putting right the wrongs, being vindicated. Because I think when we look at Trump, what I'm sensing from this is that he sees himself as the right man for this job. No qualms about it. He absolutely sees himself as going to be the best president that America's ever had. And the fact that in his last term, it looks, you know, not everybody agreed with that, and he was unceremoniously dumped from the role, let's say, he feels absolutely furious about that. And he actually feels like he was chosen to do this. And, you know, it's almost his duty to go forth and do that. But it's not through any sort of like, I have been chosen by God and I must do the right thing for my people. It's a real personal drive he has to win, and a really strong personal belief that he is the best man for the job. Okay, and he's seeing that, okay, let's that little bit of give and take. Also, we could be looking at give and take between the business side of Musk and Trump. So what if Trump gives a little bit potentially to some of Musk's business interests and receives back from Musk in return? So there's that sort of energy going on at that little bit into the future place. Okay, right, I'm going to move over to Mr. Musk here. Okay, so I'm going to start with what is lying just before the relationship between Musk and Trump. And for Elon, on Elon's side, this card is the Moon reversed. So this indicates there's potentially problems with, I'm sensing more than reading at this point. I'm saying that there's potentially problems with mum here. Is there something that's, yeah, I'm going to come back to that card. I'm going to go down to the bottom card and look at the underlying motivation here before I move on to that recent past. So the underlying motivation for Musk is the Ten of Cups reversed. Now, the Ten of Cups is all about family, and it's all about emotional security and feeling loved and with our family and looked after, and that stability of that situation. And the reversal of that card speaks to me of family dysfunction, being unsettled, feeling that you don't fit in or can't fit in, feeling that your place isn't well defined in your family. So there's like a tension as to what's expected of Elon. I think he feels very fluid about the gap between what he wants and expects and what is wanted or expected by his family. And I think although they might support him, he feels that they would rather he did something different. But there's also like this real sense of family life turned upside down, Ten of Cups reversed. It's like he has felt very insecure in the past, particularly to do with that family unit, mum, dad, and those particularly close. So I'm sensing a real driver here for the motivator for the relationship he sees to Trump. There is a sense of looking for that family stability. So does he look at Trump as a father figure, or does he see something of what he expects a father to be like in Trump? Or is it that he has felt in his past that there has been something wrong with the power dynamic in his own family, and so he's looking to Trump as a very strong man of power, because no matter what anybody says about Trump, he has presence and he has power. So it's almost like this is what is attracting Elon. Elon's very motivated by success, but more that success that you get from making things work. So when you put together the moving parts, it all works together, and there's your finished product. So he likes to make things work, and he likes that success. But I think he looks at Trump and thinks, that's real power. That's real power. Maybe I want some of that. And maybe that is driven by feeling unempowered, if that's a word I can use, in his childhood, because that underlying motivator is really strong there. Okay, now I'm going to move back to the card that I first started looking at, which was the moon reversed. Now that moon reversed, and I said, that's sometimes I'm feeling that could be an issue with mum that's come up recently for Elon, although it can also mean an end of sort of deluding oneself as well. But I feel like we're looking at a really unsettled time for Elon just prior to the initiation or the growing of this romance. Now, I'm sure that this has been going on. This romance has been building for quite some time, but it's sort of upped in intensity a lot over, the last months. So even though it's possible that it would have got to where it is, it had a sudden boost of energy. So it's almost like just prior to that, Elon's in an unsettled place, and I think there's potential. I keep coming back to that there is an issue with his mum. I'm not quite sure what that is. If anybody has any ideas, and if you let me know in the comments below, I'd really appreciate that. So, because it keeps coming into my head. But there's also this sense that he's lost. The moon reversed can indicate sort of perhaps some problems with addictions and things like that, or using drugs or alcohol for escapism, or even just daydreaming and really losing your place in the book of life, so to speak. So it's almost like he feels like he's been cut loose a little bit here, and maybe he is clutching for a new direction, because Elon here is, he's a man that's coming across, looking at these cards. We've got the Four of Pentacles there as an aim, and he's all about the making things work, making the finances work, making sure everybody's stable. But he really is, his soul is motivated by that, by, wow, the power is working, the success. And, you know, he gets bored, and he's constantly trying to validate what he feels was not validated when he was young. So I'm not saying like it's as obvious as Trump is a father figure, but I'm saying that as an older man, Trump could symbolize something that Elon thinks is missing from his life, or was missing for a long time. And it seems that Musk is driven by this, because it's coming out as a very strong influence in this spread. Okay, so as I mentioned there, the aim of Elon's aim for this relationship is the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles is all about financial security. It's about making sure that everybody has got all their ducks in a row financially and work speaking. It's about looking at how things are running, weeding out the chaff, making sure that nothing untoward is happening. It's a really positive card, and it does speak of really genuine motivations to make things better. So I really do feel that Musk is going into this relationship thinking that it is a pathway to better things. I'm not saying that either of these men are either 100% bad or 100% good. Just like with all of us, it's very much always a balance, and sometimes we're better and sometimes we're worse, sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad. So, but there does seem to be genuine positivity in what he would like to see the overall outcome of this relationship to be. Now, he's well known to be sort of humanitarian, and I think many years ago I heard somebody say that he likes humanity but not humans. So he comes across as that kind of man who's really into sort of the overarching plan for us all, perhaps not so much the day-to-day details of our lives, but he does see this union between him and Trump as a positive thing for the planet and a way that we can all be more secure, and that could be for Americans, obviously, with a good economy, so more money in your pocket, but also if you look at America's place internationally, so we could be looking at reducing debt, but also balancing the books more and becoming more powerful, more in control of finances, and better able to spend it correctly in order to help people around the world. So that, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that has been what Musk is thinking. It's what he identifies as a potential outcome of this relationship. So I think he's drawn to Trump because of Trump's glib power and success, yeah. And I think he sees in him something that he feels was missing from part of his life. So there's almost like the sense of two bits of a jigsaw coming together there. But he also has some really genuine aims to make things better for us all. So moving on, let's have a look at what's just around the corner for Elon Musk where it concerns this relationship. And this card is the Four of Cups reversed. Okay, so the Four of Cups reversed talks about the ending of, let's think about this one. It's the ending of a period of discomfort. So I'm going to say that this is relating to this moon, this reversed moon card as well here, because I've identified that there could be problems with mum, or there could be some issues where he's just feeling really lost. And it's almost like this new motivation, this new role in Elon's life is feeling like he's being offered a new opportunity. It's like he's moving into a new exciting space. This is a man who gets bored easily, and this is a man who needed a new challenge, and he sees this union with Trump and the world stage that he's now stepped even more onto as a role that's something he can really get his teeth into. Now, of course, we know that he's a very clever man, whatever his motives might be. But I think that just as a personality, he needs to be plugged into something that's stretching him, that's really making him work his brain matter. And I think he definitely sees this relationship as being something that's going to give his mind something to chew on other than itself, if that makes sense. That's what's being said to me. It gives his mind something to chew on other than itself. So it's a way in which he is making his whole life feel like it has more purpose. So it's really, I mean, he has the overarching needs of humanity in his heart, he does, but he also has a real personal need to do this. So it's like he's not the full philanthropist, and he's not completely doing this for selfish motives. There's a little bit of both going on there, and this is particularly true of this relationship with Trump, because the union of the two of them could either go spectacularly wrong or do spectacular good. And I think, looking from Elon's point of view, I think he truly believes that things can be done that really improve the state of the world and the state of his personal life, or how he's feeling about life at the moment. Okay, so let's have a look at this card now. This was my connector card. So this is about the connection between Trump and Musk. And this is the 5 of Wands reversed. Now this is about competition, and it's almost like there's competition, unhealthy competition. So I get the feeling that, if you remember, we had the card for Trump, which was the giving and receiving card. There was that one, and then we've got on the other side, we've got the 4 of Cups reversed for Musk. Now this little combo in the middle here is saying to me that there's been some sort of some negative competition has been going on. So there's something going on behind the scenes that's been competitive. Now I believe that's it's likely to have been directly between Trump and Musk, because this is a direct line across these cards here. So it's like they've been in competition for something. Now that could be sort of on a personal level. Are they competing against each other, almost like who's daddy, like who's in charge here, who has the best ideas, who has the most influence, who has the best public ratings, who's liked more, who gets more done, that sort of thing. So that seems to have brought them together. They're very, very competitive. And I think perhaps Trump looks at Musk as somebody that he admires because he's successful, but also he wants to one-up-man him, if that's is it one-upmanship, something like that. So he wants to be the man above him. He wants to be above him. So because he values Musk, so he thinks Musk is all that. So if he can be above Musk, then he's really raising himself up in his own eyes. And really, remember, Musk feels humiliated. Trump feels humiliated. So that's, in his eyes, is where he needs to be feeling that he's raised up. So by feeling that he's got one over, not got one over, but feeling that he's better even than Musk, then he's going to feel like he's vindicated even more. Okay. Now, moving down to the underlying energies behind this connection. So behind the connection, we have a major arcana card, beautiful card, that's the Empress. Okay, so the Empress is all about prosperity and growth. She's a creator, she's Mother Earth, she births the she birthed the earth, gave birth to us, the planet. She is about the environment, but she's also about creativity and creating new ways of thinking and being. Now, I'm going to say that this is quite an interesting card because it's shared by both Trump and Musk here as the underlying motivation of their connection. And it's almost like there is a need for them both to create. And I think the drive that's connecting them is knowing that they are more than the sum of their parts. So they're almost like there's a what's it called when you put two chemicals together and one speeds the other one up? Oh, I can't remember it from chemistry. Catalyst. Okay, so they're a catalyst for each other's power, and they are really aware of that. And they know that coming together, they've got various motives, but they know that coming together is going to be like dynamite for getting things done and making people sit up and take notice. Okay, so that's really underlying this connection, is the knowledge that whatever their personal opinion of each other is, and I actually think that they both admire each other in their own way, although both really want the spotlight and they're not used to sharing it. So how long they'll be able to maintain a status quo without starting to fight to see who's going to be above in the pecking order. Okay, Trump might be president, but Musk is not used to being number two, and I can't see him taking that easily at all. So it'd be interesting to see how long they're able to stay, because at the minute they seem to be very level here and very in it together, and they know that they both bring such a lot to the table when it comes to influence, power, success, ability, that this synergy together, this catalyst that they both are for each other, is going to take them like to huge places. So I'm now looking at this top card here, which is the aim of the connection. So what do they aim to achieve by getting together? Now, this is an interesting card because I would have liked to have seen this in its upright position, because then it would have been like, just a fantastic outcome, the end of a dark time of civilization, ushering in a new age of light, all those kind of things, just marvelous times. But with it being reversed, it's almost like things are delayed. Okay, it's still not a bad card, it's still a good card. It still speaks about the end of old ways, old paradigms, the beginning of a new paradigm. So this Musk and Trump alliance is ushering in a new paradigm where things are going to be done very differently and things are going to be turned on their heads. Okay, and they're treading into areas that haven't been looked at for a long time. So they're really having a good dig and seeing what comes up. Okay, but this card really indicates that the job isn't going to be as straightforward as they believe by a long way. And I'm sure that's like no great revelation to you, but it just seems like they've almost planned this as a generational change that doesn't take place specifically in their lifetime. Now, that's quite interesting because I know that Musk sometimes takes his child places with him, his little boy X. He really likes to take him around with him. So maybe it's more that he's thinking about the changes that they start now will be taking effect more in his little boy's lifetime. So maybe he's looking far ahead here. But I do see that there are going to be frustrations and delays. However, the overall aim here, is to really shift things into this new paradigm. And it's the world card. It's taking the world, the whole world, all of us, onto a new path. But it's not going to be an easy road. Okay, so this is what their aim, the aim of their union is. Okay, the final card that we have here is number 11, and that's a major arcana card, number 11, and this is justice. Now, justice is an interesting card to come out as the final card. In fact, you couldn't have planned it better. So it's really saying that it signifies a new period of calm, a lull between the storms of events and things like this. But this is on a global level. So I'm feeling that the outcome of this alliance between these two men is positive. And I don't know if I expected to say that or not, but I've really kept my personal beliefs and emotions out of this reading, specifically because I know it's so polarizing, and it would have been so easy to sort of, read it as anti-Trump or anti-Musk or pro-Trump or pro-Musk. So I've really tried not to let my own opinions spill over into this reading. But this card is definitely, I mean, you can, if you really wanted to, you can go and look at all the meanings of these cards, and you'll see that I'm reading the cards as is. I use my own intuition when I'm moving around the spread that I've created, but you'll be able to see these meanings, on any tarot website and things like that. Justice, it's about fair outcomes. So whatever it is that they're planning together, they've got good personal motivations, they've got great personal motivations, but there's also some selfish aims in there. But the outcome of this union is going to be good for the planet. Okay, it's going to be a period where things are settled, old debts are settled, old ties are reinstigated when they are for the good of both parties. There's a lot of change. There's that world is tipped upside down, quite literally up there, with this world standing on its head here. But the outcome is this justice. So what I think the cards are showing us here is that however this bromance, relationship, friendship, working partnership, the union between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, however it's came about and whatever their soul felt motivations are for becoming involved with each other in this power game, shall we say, or the world of politics, then the outcome for us is looking pretty good. So that's something to feel quite happy about today. I hope you enjoyed the reading. It was wild. Yeah, it didn't come out as I really thought it would, and that's always the beauty of tarot. If you can keep your own judgments and opinions out of it and just say it as it is, it never ever fails to surprise me with just how accurate and on the ball it can really be. So yeah, that was an amazing reading. I found that it was unexpected, but it all seemed to very much make sense when you actually thought about it. So I don't know. Well, it did to me. What do you think? I'd really like you to let me know in the comments below. Like the video so you can help me be seen more on YouTube, and please subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification thing, and you'll be informed when my next video is out. I think I might do some more on Trump and Musk, because I think there's a lot more scope and a lot more ground to uncover here, because we've looked at the dynamic of their relationship, but there's obviously a lot more going on than that. And we could look in detail at different events and perhaps meetings and policy decisions and things like that, so we could really get into the detail of things. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed that, and remember that anything that I've said is not necessarily my own opinion. I'm simply reading what the tarot cards say. So, have a great day and stay weird.